Autofocus. In the world of photography, every brand has their origin story, and I'd argue that Nikon is more loyal to their roots than just about any other brand. When autofocus finally came in the mid-1980s, they made a bold choice. Rather than abandoning the F-mount, they hung on to it. And what that meant was a new generation of lenses that were able to be, backwards compatible with the previous things. It also meant that they had to use the camera's internal focus motor to power the lens. These were called screw drive lenses. It's really a little screwdriver mechanism that connects into the back of the lens and adjusts the focus by twisting the screw. This became known as AF, or later AFD lenses. And this was kind of the birth of a whole generation of iconic lenses for Nikon. Things like the 50 and 85 1.8s, the legendary 80-200 push-pull lens. A generation of working professionals used these lenses and had this great compatibility between literally hundreds of Nikon lenses. But then came mirrorless, and quietly support for the AFD lenses just kind of disappeared. The Z bodies don't have a focus motor in them, and Nikon, after 6 or 7 years, have not brought out an adapter that has a screwdriver motor in there. So I know from the audience there's hundreds of you out there, probably many more, who've never moved to mirrorless because they want to use the AFD lenses. Well, I have good news for you guys. Back in Japan in February, I met John from MonsterAdapter. This is not sponsored, by the way. And he was working on an adapter that had the screwdriver mount in there. I had a little test. It seemed to work fine. There was a huge response from you guys, so I've been chasing him ever since. This just arrived, and this should be a final working Nikon Z to Nikon F AFD adapter. So let's open it up. And as I'm opening it up, you probably heard my Instagram and Facebook got shut down for no reason recently. Please do me a favor, check out my Linktree and follow all my new social. I'm trying to rebuild, and it's a painful process. Okay, so it's fairly svelte. It looks nicely built. It's got a AF manual focus switch. Nice resistance on the lens release. It's got a USB-C for doing firmware updates. And the interesting thing is it does have this protrusion out the bottom. You might remember the Nikon FTZ original wouldn't fit on the Z9, so they brought out the FTC2 that didn't have that. This seems to be shorter though, so it'll be interesting to see if this does work on the Z9. I brought that along too. So it's 2025 and I have moved to mirrorless. I don't own any AFD lenses. Let's head to LSK Camera. They have a 28mm that I can test out on this guy. And let me know what you would like to see tested in future, both lenses and shooting scenarios.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, need you every day. You like my oxygen. Make it seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch.
Okay, moment of truth. First photo with this adapted lens. Oh, it has his face. I mean, there's the noise, but it's, wow, it's working. Is this going to fit? Huh. So they've managed to make an AFD adapter with the motor in there that's smaller than the original FTC was, and it will fit on, I guess, all Nikon Z cameras. And if anything, you got to imagine focus will be even better on the Z9 because it's got all that extra juice to work with. Okay, we're gonna have to head out and shoot with these on the street to see what they can really do. This is kind of exciting. Nice offshore.
Oh, yeah.
I just get a picture as you blow your smoke.
Hey, give me one shot, man.
Oh, look at this guy. The shyest guy in Hong Kong, huh? Big money. Thanks, bud. If I quite a nice frame if we had someone walk through. Hey, and then we have someone walk through. Oh, these guys look so cool. Not bad, huh? If this is making you consider Nikon Z, check out my expert setup guide. It takes you through every camera in the Z range, shows you how to set them up and customize them to get the most out of them for your style of shooting. I'll have full details below. Okay, so I don't want to do all the tests with the Z9. I basically just wanted to make sure that it fits. But not everyone has this camera and it may provide more voltage to the adapter. So let's do the rest of this using the Z8. That's more like Z7 and Zf and all of those kind of things. I would say though, first impressions with this one lens, the 28-14D, which is an older one, it's much better than I expected. No, it's not like if you had a native Z mount that fast, and it does have the zzz noise that these lenses just have because of the screwdriver, but surprisingly good. Having the continuous and the different subject detection, it actually brings life to this lens that it was never designed to have, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna get a few more lookup shots around here. Then I actually went on Carousel, the equivalent of like Craigslist or Gumtree here, and found someone selling an 85 1.8D. So let's go buy that and we can do some portraits today as well. So my videographer just asked me a good question as we were sitting having a break. Do you think it's a good product? Which is essentially a really clear question you should answer in a video, right? I think if I owned AFD lenses that I loved, I would get this. Even though it seems like it's not perfect, it's definitely usable and it brings them all back to life. So in that case, I would get one. For me right now, seeing I don't own them, I'm not sure that I'd buy it. But when I think about that, I paid about $100 for this 85 1.8, and a new 85 1.8 will be 10 times that or more. Then getting an adapter could be a great way to build a kit. There's so many old AFD lenses that are going for a bargain now because there hasn't been an adapter. So if you want to do that, I'd move quick, because if this adapter takes off, you can expect the price of those lenses to take off. Now, I wanted to just compare how is the focus speed with a simple focus pull on the different cameras. So let's jump back in studio for that. To run this comparison, I got each of the cameras on a tripod and just let you film to see the focus window there. On the D700, you can see it's quite fast, and when it finds the focus point, it just freezes. There's no hunting back and forward. When I was shooting through the window here, it would hunt back and forward, I think getting confused by the glass and not knowing whether it should focus in the distance or the near, but that shows you how fast it's able to cycle through the entire range. Loading up the Z8 to test out next, you'll see it does pretty well, but there is a little pulse at the end. It doesn't lock on as confidently. And this, as well as the Z9, I found going through the window, it either found the window and just locked on it really quickly, which the D700 didn't, or it missed the glass and got stuck in the background, and either way, it wasn't doing a full cycle. The Z9, using the single point going from nearest and furthest, I felt it was faster and more confident than the Z8, but still there was a little hunt when you compare it to the D700. One thing that surprised me, bringing in the images into Lightroom, so often when you're using adapters, they don't transmit the lens info. In this case it did, but on the Z8 and Z9 it was coming in as a G lens, not a D lens. Still pretty cool that it had the focal length and the aperture of the lens, and it recorded the actual aperture that each photo was taken at. More than I expected for this kind of third-party adapter. Okay folks, so this has just been a first hands-on. I've only had like the day with this equipment. Big thanks to LSK Camera for loaning me the 28mm. Beautiful lens and in perfect condition. I'll have their details below. I would say we need to test more lenses in more situations. So if there's a particular lens that you want tested or a particular shooting scenario, please leave me a comment below and I'll do my best to get in a whole bunch of AFD lenses to test out for you guys. But without anything else, the fact that they've managed to do this and make it in a size that's smaller than the original FTC, when Nikon themselves, after 7 or 8 years, haven't bothered to make it, I think deserves praise. So thank you to John and MonsterAdapter for sending this out. As I said, it's not a sponsored video. I just wanted to test it out because we have such a big Nikon community. I guess I should say, again, please do check out the 5-day deal, check out the Nikon setup guide. All the links for all of that and my new social media are in my link tree below. Let me know any questions you have. Let me know the lenses and scenarios you want to see tested, and I'll see you guys soon.